up, minions? I'm Witte from WitteArtistry, and welcome back to my YouTube channel. If you are new here, please hit that subscribe button below to become part of my crazy family. Today is a very special video because it is a collab with an awesome friend and an awesome artist from Artistry LLC. This is Taylor.
Hey everybody!
So she's super cool. She makes pottery, she makes sculpture, she makes wicked awesome horns. We decided we wanted to do a collab and become Krampus today. So this is also a collab with Anthony Corvix. He's a super talented musician, a vocalist mainly. He does covers, and I think he has some of his own original music, but holy cow, his Where Are You Christmas cover is super creepy, and I thought it would fit perfect for Krampus. So I'm going to link his channel in the description as well. Thank you, Anthony, for wanting to do this collab with me. I really hope that this Krampus character lives up to your awesome song standards. Also behind the scenes, we have Ashley McDarrison from McDarrison Productions. She's doing some sweet B-roll, some behind the scenes stuff. We're gonna be like sharing footage from each other's videos, so totally go give her a follow as well. Check out her YouTube channel. It's also linked in the description. So let's get this makeup started. Boom! So for this makeup, I'm going to be using a pre-made Witte foam mask prosthetic. This is the vampire brow. So the first step is to trim out the eye holes and then measure how it fits on your model's face. Then I'm going to block out the eyebrows to make sure that there is no prosade that's going to get stuck in them, or anything that I'm adhering the prosthetic with will not yank her eyebrow hairs out. This is really important. So just smush it down with some water-soluble glue and then move the eyebrow hairs upward and outward. Then with a petroleum jelly, I am putting it in the hairline all the way around her head to make sure that the prosade does not stick in her hair at all. I do not want that to happen. So now I'm trimming the prosthetic to fit to her face. The prosthetic was definitely way too big for Taylor, unfortunately, so I had to trim a lot. After trimming to see where the prosthetic will go, it's a really cool trick to use a lot of powder and just a powder puff and go along the edge. So when you remove it, you see where the prosthetic will be. Then with prosade, which is just a medical grade adhesive, I am putting it in the center of the nose. How you use this is you let it dry before you stick something to it, and then it'll stick super well. So when you apply a prosthetic, you start with the nose, and then you go to the middle of the forehead, and then you want to go around the eyes and just gently stick those down. Be really careful to not poke your model in the eye or to get any prosade in their eyes. So I am taking this slow and steady. The application process actually took a lot longer than anticipated, but it's my first prosthetic. But I'm really happy with how it got laid down straight. Nothing was crooked. So I have one of the little chin flaps down, and I'm going to do the other one. Make sure you're being very careful when you're pressing on your model's face. You don't want to annoy them. Then with a powder, I am lightly powdering the edges to make sure the prosade isn't sticky anymore on the edges. And then it's important to blend your edges of your prosthetic. This is where I had a lot of trouble because I had to trim the prosthetic so much all the way around that the prosthetic was pretty thick. So if I had made a custom prosthetic for Taylor, this would have gone so much better. But the general idea here is you're taking a Q-tip and liquid latex and you're dabbing it around the edges of the entire prosthetic. You do that and create a thin layer, basically to blend the edge of the prosthetic into the skin. You let it dry, and then you keep repeating this until you have multiple layers of liquid latex. When you're doing the eyes, please, please be careful. Liquid latex is very drippy. So I'm just running it around the rim of the eyes. And Taylor is like the best model. She made this so easy because she stayed still the entire time. And for editing, it was like watching a statue. It's crazy. I move around so much when I do my own makeup. I had a lot of issues with that left bottom edge, but now I'm testing out these super cool ears Taylor provided just to get a general idea what they would look like before I put them down. But oh my gosh, they're so cool. So I am laying them down with prosade, being very careful not to get her baby hairs in the mix, but put a little top bit on your pinna and a little bit on your earlobe and just slip that ear on, and it sticks pretty darn well. These were a lot of fun. I really feel like it made the character more complete having these huge ears. Oh, and if you're wondering, the ears are made out of liquid latex, and it is a hollow cast. Then with baby powder, which I accidentally spilled on Taylor, I am going over the entire prosthetic, both the ears and the face just to make sure that that latex is no longer sticky. Since this was my first time applying a prosthetic, I honestly had no idea how to paint one. I had always seen people on the internet use cream makeup to paint a foam latex prosthetic, but the cream makeup I had was so stiff, like it wouldn't get in the foam. So after I covered it with just a quick base layer, I decided to switch and give Wolf body paint a shot since I'm used to that product, and oh my gosh, that works so well. I am mixing together a little bit of black and some white, and I'm going over the entire mask just to create a slightly darkish blue, gray mid-tone. I am covering all the prosthetic in this, and then when I switch to the skin, I am slightly lightening the color, and they ended up looking like they were the same color. Then paint your ears with the same color as well. After I had her skin based out in this mid-tone, I wanted to do some highlights and some stippling with a sponge to break up the tones. If there's anything I have learned from the internet, from prosthetic painting and just body painting in general, it's really important to have a variety of different tones mixed into the makeup to make it look more real and just look more like skin. So I'm using a gray, a pre-made gray, which is way lighter than the one I'm applying, or the one that I applied already, and I'm just stippling it all over with a sponge. Taylor ended up bringing these super awesome like beauty nails that we ended up painting black later that worked great as claws. And with a black Ben Nye cream makeup, I am going to be accentuating all of the wrinkles and wonderful sculpting details that WitteArtistry has in their prosthetic already. I decided to start with the inner corners of the eye and just the dark shadows under the eyebrows. I'm just using that black cream makeup and I'm gently gliding it through all of the wrinkles, like the deep holes of the wrinkles, and then just blending it out with just repetitive motion of the same brush. And then make sure you get the skin as dark as you can up close to the eyes so there's no like peach tones showing. Do the same shading in the ears just to give them a little more depth. I wanted to emphasize those wrinkles on the forehead a little bit more because the eyebrow sculpt is so cool on this prosthetic. So I did that, and I had an issue with the mouth edge, so I decided to disguise it using like really intense smile lines. So I put black body paint in those smile lines and I'm blending it downward, and it makes it look super like grungy, and it makes Krampus look way more angry and matches the brow. By this time, we were having a lot of fun because Taylor's starting to get into character. I'm pretty excited that this is coming to life. We even have a costume, like it's a full character. I'm so excited. So now I decided to move on to more complex coloration of the skin tone using alcohol activated makeup from Skin Illustrator. So with alcohol, I am taking blue and purple and mixing them together. Taylor thought it would look really cool if the tips of the ears were sort of darker and had a different color. So that's just what I'm doing with like squiggling the brush. Worked out pretty well. Then with a stipple sponge, I am stippling that everywhere, but that wasn't working very well, so I decided to switch to using a chisel brush like I have seen on so many makeup shows. So essentially what you're doing with this is you have a chisel brush and you have a color that you want to spatter all over the skin, and this will create tiny little flecks of varying colors. So primarily I am doing this with blues and purples, but I'm changing up their darkness, their lightness, just to have a really good variety. And I'm just spattering that all over everything, and it created a really cool skin texture. For the highlights, I busted out my favorite Mayron product, which is their awesome Clown White. So I'm using a sponge on a stick just to apply it to the areas that I really wanted to have a highlight. I basically heavily applied it on the part that I wanted to be the most light, and then I just tapped it with that sponge on a stick upward and outward, and it really helped bring out the brow and now the nose. I could add all these wrinkles to the nose, and it just looked a lot more evil. Apply the same highlighting technique to your cheekbones. Gotta make those cheekbones fabulous. Krampus has to eat all the children today. Then to the other cheekbone as well. Make sure your highlighting remains even on both sides so it doesn't make the prosthetic look lopsided. And then just smooth out that white makeup to make it look more realistic. So I'm a little weird, guys. Taylor brought these fabulous vampire fangs, so she's just popping those in now. And Taylor made these wonderful horns, which actually inspired the whole character. She made them out of heat moldable plastic, and oh my gosh, aren't they so cool? Please guys, go follow her, she's amazing. So apparently how you apply them is they have these little combs, so you attach the horns on top and then you use your hair sort of as a decorative element and also to secure the horns in place so they don't rock back and forth. So we're working together to just get that done and then to pin the hair down. Now that we have the horns attached, I am painting her lips and I am using a very dark eyeshadow by Urban Decay just to darken up her eye sockets. We were having some issue with the paint lifting on her eyelids. To make really quick dead lips, tell your model to make a kissy face and then just drag black eyeshadow over it and it will create this cool wrinkling texture. It's time to paint her arms and hands. So with the midtone I started with, I am coating her entire arms with it, and we painted the hands mainly off camera because, you know, she would get really tired holding that up, but do the same exact texturing you did on the face, and then I used black hairspray to darken the fingertips and the nails to make them look super gross. With red and brown, create some fake blood coming out of the mouth that will stay still and not be super sticky. Then I got Mayron mouth blood, and oh my gosh, was this a great effect. Put some in the mouth, have that ooze over, and then I'm covering the fingers and hands with blood as well because Krampus eats kids, so it needed to be super creepy and nasty. And then I'm dumping fake blood on her hands and she's just tapping it all over her hands just to really look nasty later. And Krampus isn't very civilized when he eats, so obviously there's gotta be some blood dripping to the chest as well. And you guys are all done. Oh my gosh, I love this character so much. It was such a dream come true to be able to work with such cool people and also to be able to just dive into prosthetics. Finally, I'm so excited. I hope you guys have a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year and whatever holidays you celebrate. I love you guys.
Thank you guys so much for sticking in. It means a lot to us. This has been a wonderful experience. I mean, come on, it's a full character of Krampus.
I'm
sorry,
just like with these all day.
Look at these horns.
Ah!
So how'd you like it?
I absolutely loved it. I've known Kim for a while, so being able to just be in here in her studio with her is really heartwarming. It's really cool to see the horns in a full thing.
So cool.
That was amazing. That was so much life I didn't expect to see. So it was
Yeah,
awesome.
so totally check out Taylor's channel, Artasia LLC. It's in the description below. And also, all the super cool B-roll you saw is by Ash McDarrison. Her channel is linked in the description below as well. And the super cool music you heard, that like creepy Christmas song, is a cover done by Anthony Corvix. His stuff is linked in the description as well. He's a super nice person and his YouTube videos are so cool, so please go give him a follow as well.
It's a lot of love to be given.
Yes.
It's Christmas after all.
Children! Also, a huge thank you to my wonderful Patreon producers, Bradley Shear, Dan Tastic, John Huckabee, James Halderson, Benjamin Sorgatz, and Tyson Moore. Without you guys, I wouldn't be able to follow my dreams every day and make super cool things like this and do wonderful collabs. Thank you all so much for watching, and I will see you in the next video.